Dan Passarelli here. Well, if you've been paying attention to the financial media, you've seen a lot of folks talking about how next year it could be a weak market and it could be a recessionary year. And so in situations like those, because, we just don't know, but in situations like those, what I like to do is look for defensive stocks. And one category of defensive stocks would be the utilities, and we can see that by looking at the XLU, that's the Select Sector Spider Trust for the utilities. It's an ETF. And if we look here, it's had sort of a mixed year. Back here in September, we had a really precipitous drop going into mid-October, sort of out the window and then climbing back up the stairs here. And as of today, and let's zoom in on that candle here for a second. As of today, we crossed above the 20-day moving average, which tends to have some follow-through when that happens, and also closed above the 200-day moving average, which of course is a very strong support and resistance point. As of this morning, it was resistance, and now it's become support. I always like to see a confirmation candle to be making a decision on that, so we're going to see what happens tomorrow where it opens. But this could be an interesting play for both the short term, just playing these moving average moves as a trade, and possibly even long term going into 2023. So the question, of course, is how do we play that? And we see the historical volatility down here at 17.5, where the implied volatility is a fair amount higher. So for investors looking at maybe holding this for the long term, selling a cash secured put, maybe just slightly out of the money and maybe even hoping to get assigned could be a nice way to play that. Also, if we're looking at the potential for a short-term trade, but maybe a short-term trade that we continue for a longer term, we can look at selling put credit spreads that could be overpriced, or even just buying call debit spreads to hedge off the overpriced volatility. I'm Dan Passarelli. I hope that helps. Trade smart.